no. Cheers. Hey everybody, this is Rock Queen 71 coming at you live from my headquarters in Rocklahoma. How's it going? It's Friday, and thank God it's Friday, and thank God I'm home. Cyber hug, first of all, and stuff, alright? I love you, Lolly. I love Froggy too, you know that. It's been a rough few days, let me tell you. Um, a rough few days. And not for me, not me either, for him also. Wait, just give me 1 second here. And I'll tell you what's going on. Alright. I wasn't really gonna get him on tonight, to be honest with you. But I have a lot to get out and stuff. No, Wally, you know me. Okay? You know me. I've been having a lot of problems with my back, okay? And you know that. And so I felt like I was running in a marathon over and over and over and over again. And I couldn't be at peace. Okay? So when I was going through my back pain at a certain level, I go into panic attacks. Okay? But something wasn't off. I mean, something was off with me. And all that. And it could be just the panic attacks, okay? But anyway. But I felt pain here, okay? And down my arm and everything else and stuff. And I was driving Jim crazy, okay? He was like, on Wednesday night, Froggy! Hold on. Group hug. Group cyber hug. Don't worry, Froggy, you're not in trouble. I love you both. There. You're not in trouble. It's just the damn freaking Streamlabs bot. Anyway. And I didn't do it, by the way, either. Well, every time I got up, I would get a panic attack, okay, because of my back. I ran out of my gabapentin, okay? I ran out of Visceral, which is, it helps with anxiety attacks and all that stuff, okay? We're at a point where we have to save our money, okay? And all that stuff. Hold on. And so, every time I got up, I would have a panic attack. He would sit in the chair, and he knows if I get, say, a Java Monster or a Coke or coffee or whatever, and I don't grunt. I don't, whatever and stuff. Hopefully, I'll be having a good day. All right? Hold on. But for the past week, it's been, I would get up, go to the fridge, get Java Monster or, Dr. Pepper or whatever. And it felt like I was nauseous all the time. Okay? Nauseous. And so I would go to the bathroom, I would dry heave and all this stuff, okay? And so I would take my medication, I would ice my back, I would even lay back down in the bed, okay? And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I was at a breaking point. I called the crisis lifeline and all that, and I told them about the situation about I ran out of medication, my counselor hasn't called me back, and all this stuff, right? So Jim even talked to one guy, okay? And the guy, his name was Marty. The guy says, well, I know where you're coming from, but you can either send her to the hospital, to the crisis center, okay? Or you can try to get the appointment that was changed by the doctor, by the way, and try to move it up a little bit. Well, they weren't calling me. The counselors weren't calling me. Nothing, okay? And I've been having a lot of problems with my behavioral health center, okay? And that was getting me more, like, upset. It got to the point and stuff, and like I said, we're trying to save money here. Okay? And I'm trying to get on Sooner Care. That was another big problem, okay? But that comes later. It's like Sooner Care is like Medicaid and all that stuff. Yeah. And I couldn't get out of it. He was getting frustrated and stuff. He wasn't getting any sleep because I would wake him up saying, honey, I don't feel too good. I don't feel good. I love you. It was like I love you every 5 minutes. Like, and all that stuff. We were sitting here in the living room, okay? I think it was around 1 o'clock at night or 2. And I would try to focus on like stuff from YouTube. Okay? Like funny stuff, not serious stuff or whatever, okay? And he was playing his game. And I kept on saying, honey, and I really didn't want to say I had to go to the hospital because okay? And I finally said, I think I have to go to the hospital. And he's like, Vic, get dressed. You're not getting dressed like that. Get dressed and all this stuff. And I said, well, I don't feel good. Because of my arm, my heart, and my back was like, just forget it. And I said, I'm not doing too good. Okay? And every time it seemed like when he left the room, I said, don't leave me. This is... I got dressed. He helped me to the car. And he didn't say a word and stuff. Because it costs money. We have no health insurance. All this other crap. Hey, Road King, what's up? Group hug, group cyber hug, everybody. I don't know if I can still call you my friend or not. For this stream, I'll forgive you. If anything goes wrong, guess who's to blame? You. Appreciate you guys being here, okay? I need you to be here. You don't have to be here, but I appreciate each and every one of you, okay? If it wasn't for you guys and stuff, I don't think I would. Anyway, so hold on. Taylor, hold on. Group hug, everybody. Group hug for Taylor and the little man, and I want to kick some ass in Los Santos, but right now I can't focus on anything. I've been struggling a lot. My back pain and with panic attacks, depression, anxiety, and all that. And like I said to you guys, you're going to see the good, the bad, the ugly cry, and the insanity, okay? I put too much pressure on myself. And that's a problem. I don't do this for the fame. I don't do this for the money or anything else. I'm trying to build a community and stuff. Okay, uplifting, positive community. That's what matters to me, because I see all this darkness in the world. You know, it was pretty bad. I could hardly walk. You don't love me, bro, okay? You tried to poison me the other night in a casino in Los Santos. I'm like, I love you too. I try to be. And I put so much pressure on myself. And when Streamlabs broke, I had to use StreamYard, Prison Yard, okay? And I was like, no, this is not happening. I want to give you guys the best quality stream. I don't want to talk about politics anymore on my stream. I just want to talk about us. This is our space, okay? This is our space, and no darkness is going to get in the space. There's other live streams I can go to talk politics or whatever, okay? You know what I mean? I don't want to be that. Somebody says, actually, AI, Coach, I call him Coach. I know he's not human, guys, all right? I'm not that freaking nuts. He says, listen, your stream is about recovery. And I said, well, I don't want to be put in one box. And the coach said, no, you're in 3 boxes. You're about recovery, mental health awareness, and being the light of the world and stuff. That's 3 boxes. You're not being put in one box. Anyway, I'm sorry for going around in circles. So I think when Streamlabs broke and I had to use StreamYard or whatever, and I mean, StreamYard's easy, okay? It really is. I like certain features, I'll admit, but I'm not going to use StreamYard. It's too much money right now for us. And I'm not asking for money either. That's another thing and stuff. I don't ask for any money with you guys. So when StreamYard when Streamlabs broke and I had to do it with StreamYard, I think it broke me in a way. And I'm a pro. I can go with the flow. I can, try to figure things out, whatever. But I think it was just a part of what was really going on. You understand what I'm saying? And then with my back pain, and then just all this crap that I was talking about being sucked into the darkness and stuff. We're not going to go there. But I fell in a rabbit hole with certain topics, okay? So it's that, and then with not having my medication and everything else, it was just a snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I feel bad for Jim at times. I really do. Because he has to put up with my bullshit. Okay? And I mean that. I put him under so much pressure because he's basically my caretaker, especially when my back's out, forget it. Okay? So, hold on. Just... I don't want to lose him either. Because there's times where, I think he's such under stress. And he's so tired of just me going through this crap. Okay? I don't want him to have a stroke or a heart attack. He had a heart attack before, okay? I don't want him to have a heart attack and die on me because then that's going to be it. I know he loves me very much. He does the best he can. And I know that. Oh my God. My cigarette keeps going out. So do I. I love him. Yeah, I do love him very much. And I'm right back in for this. I feel like such a failure in this marriage and stuff. Because in the beginning of our marriage, I used to cook all the time. We used to do things together, okay? We used to, and because of my back and everything else, I gained so much weight. And it seems like this is my safe haven, okay? I'm not becoming an agoraphobic. I'm not. But at times I think I am because I don't want to have, if I twist my back wrong or trip and my back goes out, I don't want to have a panic attack and then it ruins everybody's fun, okay? Oh my God. He supports me with everything I do for the stream. And yeah, he doesn't come on the stream that much or whatever. He does listen and he does do his little thing, with the ADHD shirt, hi, I'm ADHD and I have 5 projects going on and whatever at the same time or whatever. Okay. Me and him, we would be a good team together for a live stream, but he doesn't want to be on camera all the time. I don't push it on him either. Well, sometimes I do. You know. But anyway. Oh my God. So on Wednesday morning, or early Wednesday morning, I finally broke. I said, I have to go to the hospital. And he's like, he knew it, you know. And so he says, get dressed, Vic. You're not gonna be like that. You're not gonna wear flip flops either. Yeah, put your shoes on and whatever. Get dressed. You know, and well, that's what I did. He didn't say a word to me at the hospital. When we were driving there. We got to the hospital. He says, you want me to get you a wheelchair? I said, yeah. Now, in this rinky-dink hospital, okay, it's not the rich man's hospital in Tulsa. In this rinky-dink hick hospital, they all know me, okay? I should have like a metal gold plate on the door, okay? So I told him what was going on with me and everything else. My back, my chest. I'm having a hard time breathing. You know, my arm. I'm going through. He's like, yeah, she's going through a panic attack again. So they rushed me back. Thank God nobody. Well, it's a country hick hospital. A lot of people don't go there. You know, and so they rushed me back. They put the things on me, you know, and and the doctor comes in, and he says, "What's going on?" I'm crying, like waterfalls, like, you know. And I told him my back is killing me. I'm out of my medication. I'm going through panic attacks. You know, and I can't take it anymore. The nurse asked me, she says, you're not, you know, you've had history where you had so much back pain you wanted to kill yourself, right? She asked me that. I said, no, I want to kill the pain. I don't want to kill myself. I want to kill the pain. That's it. And I've been dealing with this for so long. This is a totally different monster. Okay? I've kicked dope how many times in my life? Maybe 5 or 6. Some of them in jail, okay? That's not fun. This is a whole different monster where I can't get rid of it. I can't shake it. And stuff. And so I go through these panic attacks, like, when is this gonna end? And even when I'm in a good space, I'm always thinking, well, when is the other shoe gonna drop? Okay, oh, my hair and all that. So they know I'm in recovery. They know I've been in recovery from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. I don't have a green card. I don't do medical marijuana. None of that shit, okay? And so, hi, honey. You just wanted to say hi. Just wave, just say hi. No, just say hi. Like, hi. No, can we just say hi just say hi, everybody.
I already did 3 times. Hi, everybody.
I'm and He's worn out. Everybody said hi to you, honey. See, we should do like the Vicky and Jim show or something. At least that made me smile and laugh, right? Moto! Howdy! Alright, hold on. Since everybody's here, we have to do another group hug. Alright. I feel the love tonight. That Elton John song. Big cyber hugs for all of you guys. I thank you for all you people being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And you just missed Jim Moto. I hope you're doing okay. I hope everybody else is doing okay out there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like... Like I said to you guys, if I didn't have you, okay, and God puts people in their lives for a reason, I don't think... I'm just saying, I hung out with a lot of people in my life, even on streams or whatever, and you guys, we have the same values, the same morals pretty much. I mean, I was a part of a stream team and stuff, and talk about ego. Yeah. And they had the same values and, you know, and morals and all that stuff as me too. But they were more focused on themselves, if you know what I mean. Well, it's all Road King's fault. Okay? It's all Road King's fault. If he didn't poison me that night in the casino bar with that drink, I wouldn't. No. All right, let's stop that. But and Moto, it's an inside joke. Okay, it's an inside joke with the casino bar and him poisoning me, and it's an inside joke. It's a part of a video game. That's it. But he's still trying to kill me. Anyway, all right. So like I said, they know I'm in recovery. My recovery comes first. It's a priority. Okay. And I tell them, even if I know that the nurses and whatever, I still tell them I'm in recovery from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. I don't do the green card, the medical marijuana, nothing like that. Okay? Oh, you are! Oh, I have a picture for you. I think Java's been cheating on you. I have proof. Blame Road King. Anyway, so the doctor comes to the room again and stuff. He said, well, Toradol works, right? And he said, what else do they give you? And I said, I don't know. You know, and I said, well, they give me morphine at times. and stuff, and he knows I'm in recovery. But see, a lot of people in recovery, especially dope addicts, junkies and stuff, they can't do that because I'll set them off. With me, I know it's just for the pain and stuff, and I'm not gonna go. God forbid. I don't want to go back there because I know I'm gonna die if I ever do within probably a week or even 3 days. To tell you the truth. Anyway, so he says, "All right, we'll give you that, and if that doesn't work, they gave me Zofran because I was nauseous and everything else and stuff. So the nurse comes in, shoots me up with the Zofran, Toradol, and morphine, and all that, and I was feeling better. It took the edge off, okay? And so the doctor comes in and we were trying to explain to him about the health insurance situation, the having no money pretty much, and all that, uh, you know. And I explained to him about my behavioral health center making changes, all this crap. Anyway, all right, so he said, well, I can't prescribe gabapentin. And I'm like, why is that? He says, well, they're keeping an eye on gabapentin now. I'm like, what? Don't tell, right? But any medication you can get addicted to, okay? And he said, well, I can't do it. He said, but I can give you Visceral and stuff for your anxiety and all that stuff. I said, I don't care. Do it. So then he said to me, listen. And I was only there for maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever, and stuff because they were checking my heart. They did the lung x-ray and whatever. He said, listen. Hey, Carney, what's up? I'm like, oh, the gang's all here. How about that? Did you get enough sleep, Carney? And thank you for your message. I appreciate you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I feel the love, guys. I really do. And, yeah. Wait a minute. Who? Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I have you guys on the big screen because I can't see the small screen with the comments. And no, I don't need glasses either. So the doctor said, listen, I'll be here tomorrow, and if you find you can't take it anymore, come again, I'll be on, right? And, so I said, yeah, okay, So the pharmacy was closed, to get my Visceral and whatever. And so you're such a team player, Carney. I love you so much. Rah, 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 rah. Cheerleader. All you guys are, really. Hold on. So I go home. I come home here, right? And after, I was feeling all right, a lot better than I was. He went to bed. I stayed up for a little bit and stuff and smoked cigarettes and just watched YouTube videos. Happy YouTube videos like, cat videos or whatever. Right? And so I went to bed. I must have been moving around a lot or whatever, so he got up and slept on the couch. He always does. It's like a wrestling match in our bed, okay? With our clothes on. I'm just saying. So, well, that's the top rope. Anyway, um, so I got up a few times because I really didn't. When I'm in a lot of pain, I can't eat. So I made myself like a jelly sandwich and stuff, right? And I went back to bed for a little bit, and I got back up, and I got myself a Dr. Pepper, and I was like, he already knew. Hey, what's up? Sus kid. Wow. You haven't been around in a while, right? How are you? Everybody group hug. Say hi to Sus Kid. Thank you for being here. It's been a while. Wow. I'm I had to say this again, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay? And never doubt that. Okay? Never doubt that. So, back to the story though. So as soon as I get up, panic attack, my back's hurting, I'm thinking I don't feel good, I feel nauseous, same old crap. And he knows what's coming. And so he went to town, and so I took 3 Benadryl, because Benadryl is like the same thing as Listerol and stuff, okay? So I took that along with my medication, and I went back to bed for a little bit. But as soon as I got up, forget it. I was like, I called the crisis line again, and stuff, and I was in so much pain. And the guy, it was the same guy, by the way, that said, well, she can come in to the crisis unit, or you know, you haven't called your behavioral health center and to get, the appointment pushed up to get medication. No. So Jim took the phone and slammed the door pretty much, and he was talking to the guy. I just felt like I kept running a marathon, okay? And I was getting tired, and I was at my breaking point again. Around 4:30, I took my medication where it wasn't working. Well, it was working, but I was in so much pain, okay? And my panic attack, I tried to focus on certain things. I called the crisis line, and there was a woman on the line and stuff, and I hate there. She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey, that you have to go through that." Like real, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like real fake. Like they're just there to get a paycheck. I talk to other people and they don't talk like that. Oh, I'm sorry. And it was pissing me off even more, to tell you the truth. So she said, well, if you're in a lot of pain, why doesn't your husband take you to the hospital? I said, no, he's not going to, because he was pissed, okay? He really was. Yes. You know, and he was just pissed at the situation, okay? And but she was making things worse, okay? And so she said, well, if he's not going to take you, why don't you call the ambulance? I said, well, can you do it for me? And she said, I'll be right back. And then she said, well, no, you have to do it. And they do this because they feel like it puts pressure off of the client. You see, like, well, I didn't call the ambulance. It's, I wasn't doing that because they've done it before for me with my back pain and all that stuff. Okay, so I went to him. I said, I'm gonna call the ambulance, and he's like, that. And so he got on his coat. He says, I'm not gonna be around. I'm not gonna be around. He said, I'm stressed out enough. And listen, guys. He has a right to be frustrated. Okay, I'm not blaming him. Anybody would be frustrated with the situation. Okay, anybody. I would be frustrated with certain situations, okay? And so he left, and I sat here for at least a good 12, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I was trying to calm myself down, okay? And focus on things and just, and it wasn't working. So I called 911. And for some odd reason, they were going to connect me to dispatch, and something was clicking on my phone, and the operator gets back on the line saying, "Why isn't your phone connecting to, dispatch?" I said, "I don't know why. It was the first thing that's happened to me, right?" So they said, well, we'll call and whatever. They come like half hour later, whatever, and I was in so much pain. I was crying and all this stuff. And so I know them too a lot. And then the EMTs came, and the guy knew, like, because I wasn't breathing, pretty much. I was holding it, and he says, listen, I want you to breathe, breathe in through your nose, 5, count of 5, and slowly exhale, right? And he knows I've been going through a lot, this EMT, okay? Because I was talking about other things too. He said, well, where do you want to go? And I said, well, I really want to see a counselor. And he said, well, OSU. I said, no, they don't have counselors. I said, St. Francis does. And he says, listen, if you were in Cleveland, before, like, last night, we're going to go there again. Because they know the history, they know what happened the night before and whatever. I said, okay, I'll do that. But everybody was asking about where Jim was. And I said, he's around, he's just blowing off steam, whatever, okay? So they took me to the Hick Hospital again. And sure enough, Dr. Brown was there, right? he said, "I'll be here tomorrow if you decide to come back." And he told me, Dr. Brown, he says, I already knew you were going to come back. He said, we're going to do the same thing with giving you morphine. And he knows I'm in recovery, guys. My recovery comes first. I kept telling him this. That. And they know me. I'm not going to, like, be fiending for more morphine or the dope or whatever, okay? Because I've had friends where they shot them up with morphine or Demerol or whatever, and it set them off, and they never came back. Some did, but some didn't come back. Anyway, so, but I was having chest pains, and I felt like a heaviness and everything else and stuff. So he comes back. He said, "Listen, we can't handle your situation here. You might have to go to a bigger place, right?" And he says, "But we can send you home." And I said, "No." He said, "Well, they can do some tests on you and see if your heart's okay and whatever." But the night before, when they did the EKG, he said to me, "Everything's fine. You didn't have a heart attack. Whatever." But see, when you're in a panic attack or whatever, it doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? So he says, "Well, do you want to go to OSU and stuff?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, I'll call for transportation and they'll transfer you there." And I felt like I made the right decision. And all that, because I told the doctor, I said, "I feel like I'm dying." And sometimes, I've had panic attacks where I felt like I was having a heart attack. This one wasn't as intense as the other ones, but you know what I mean? So on this ambulance driver, she's been on the EMTs. She's been a paramedic for a year and a half. She does not know how to drive. I was in so much pain afterwards. They actually shot me up with another 5 cc's of morphine in the ambulance because of her driving. They take me upstairs and stuff, and I said, "Well, can I get a drink of water?" "No, you can't. You can't drink anything. You can't eat anything. Nothing." And I didn't eat anything for like hours. Okay, and so they gave me medication just to help me sleep or whatever. And I was like in such a daze. Like, I was watching Ricky and Morty. I never watched that show. And to me, it was all strange. And then I was watching something else. I forget. No, I don't think it was Dr. Phil. It was Ricky and Morty. Oh, 48 hours I was watching. No, Dateline. It was Dateline I was watching. But wasn't really watching. I was just like nodding off and all this crap. And then eventually I try to get some sleep. Well, 3 hours later, the 2 doctors come and they said, "Well, we're going to give you a stress test." And I told him, I said, I don't feel good. I feel weak. I have heaviness and chest pains here, and my arm. And I was like white as a ghost, okay? White as a ghost. And I felt nauseous and whatever. They said, well, we'll give you the stress test, and we'll see what's going on. And he was pressing down on my my heart and stuff. And the doctor said, I don't think it's your heart. I think it's something else. So we're gonna just make sure. You don't when you're admitted to the hospital, they don't let you sleep because they were poking me. They were giving me more drugs and all that, and they were doing blood work. I think around 9 o'clock. I don't even know what time. The guy comes in with a wheelchair, and I know this guy before. He was actually. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate the hearts. Much love back to you guys. This guy, this orderly, was in the Army for like 35 years. He was a drill sergeant, real nice guy and whatever. He only does this part-time, And I said, I know you. He said, yeah, I know you too. How you doing? And I'm going to tell you this. When I'm in the hospital, it's like every day it's a party in my room. But this day, like yesterday, I was just I was miserable. I wasn't my jovial Jersey self and stuff. And I told the guy, I said, I can't go down there with a wheelchair. I feel weak, nauseous. I'm in a lot of pain. And they brought me down with my bed. And it was so hot in that room too. I could hardly breathe. I had like a massive headache. I felt like my head was gonna explode. And so they rolled me in, and they said, well, we're gonna do this where you go in the CT machine. Or no, it was nuclear medicine. It's nuclear medicine. They shoot you up with isotopes and stuff, and so it can light up your life. It get so like a light bulb. My body would be a light bulb, pretty much, right? And I told him, I said, I can't move. I'm in so much pain. Blah 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 blah. So they said, well, if you feel like this, you don't have to do it. We can just send you right back upstairs. I said, no, I want to get it done. So they call upstairs and they ask if I could have Zofran and something for the pain. Well, they said, well, they can't do anything for the pain except for Tylenol. Well, that's not gonna, And then they're gonna give me Zofran for nausea. So the nurse comes down and stuff, and I'm trying to talk to her and stuff, and I can't really talk. I'm trying to explain to her and stuff what's going on and stuff, and the Zofran didn't help me much. I was still nauseous. The Tylenol, Tylenol is just Tylenol. And so they had me go on the bed, and I had to put my arms up, which was killing me. And when you're laying flat on your back, my back was like, oh my God, this is not good. And all that stuff. I felt more nauseous. So that was like a 9-minute ordeal where I had my hands over my head, okay? And something didn't, I think some of the pictures didn't turn out right or whatever because I kept moving. And this one guy, uh, he was so funny, okay? He really was. Uh, he was like, I'm going to make a song about you and your husband because you met on Xbox, blah, blah, you know, whatever. And then, you know what he said to me? He said, have we done something before together? And I grabbed his coat. I said, maybe we have. Like, you know, that, no, it didn't, you know, but he knew the kind of personality I have. You know, and so he was trying to make me laugh and, you know, I got your back and, you know, all this stuff, right? And so they put me in the other room and they said, this test is not going to give you a heart attack or anything else. And I've been in that room because I had neck surgery like back in 2020. And so, my cardiologist wanted me to have this test done, and I told them, I said, I'm not going to make it through this. He said, no, we're not going to, you know, simulate a heart attack. You're not going to, I said, no, I know what this is. I said, I'm not going to get through it. Because, I mean, like I said, I was white as a ghost. Okay, my blood pressure was, whatever. Hi, Stoopings. Yeah, my husband thinks I'm beautiful, too. Never heard of the place. Where is it? No, I'm Episcopal. I'm a pisser. Let me give you a warm cyber hug, a greeting. Thanks, Souping, for dropping by. I truly appreciate you. And if you're a Catholic or whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not Catholic. We are like Catholic, and we're the sister church of the Catholic Church. But anyway, yeah, we're pissers. And I told that to the doctors and everybody. They're like, what religion are you? I said, Episcopalian. And they didn't even know. You're doing your research, Lolly. Oh, really? Like, Aquarius, right? But that's in the ocean. Do you know what Stargard is? I look that up. All right, we're gonna go off topic for a minute. Look that up. Stargard. I'll tell you what Stargard is. It's a secret society for the elite. So they can go up in their spaceship, okay, and we're all slaves to the world. And they've had that for years. And it's on the internet. The guy that did a film about Stargard actually got banned from YouTube. No, I was in the hospital. Wait, an aquatic risk prevention agency that is internationally recognized for elite training, certification, and consulting programs. Stargard? Or are you talking about the Agatha thing? Stargard. They. Yeah, but Stargard. Yeah, but it's for the elite where they spend all this money, okay? So they can go up to space when the whole world blows up. We're going to be blown up with it, except for the elite. Yeah, I love you, Moto. You're my brother. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I was in the hospital for overnight. I want to get busy, doing my I'm not going back to StreamYard. No, I can still use StreamYard, right? Because I spent $1 on it. Might as well use it, right? Anyway, but so yeah, it's one of those elitist societies, that want to live forever. Anyway, so here I am in the room, and I told him, I said, I'm not gonna get through this. Because I was really white, like really ghostly white, and I was just not myself at all. So they said, well, you can go back. I said, no, let's just do this. Let's just do it. So they shoot me up with whatever they were shooting me up with. So I could feel what I was feeling. It opens up your veins and your capillaries and your arteries and all this stuff. Okay? And he said, move your feet. So the shot can go right through you. Right? And here I am. I said, oh my God. I've been on roller coasters. I love roller coasters. But that feeling, it was the worst feeling I ever felt in my life. And so they stopped it. And so the one tech said, well, we'll give her a reversal. What's a reversal? So they gave me one shot of a reversal, whatever it was, to stop the effects of what they shot me up with. And they said, well, we'll give her. Oh, and before they gave me that shot, I guess I wasn't breathing or something, because the tech says, oh my God. And so the nurse, bumped me a little bit, like, are you okay? And I shook me a little bit, are you okay? All that stuff. Anyway, so they gave me a second shot for the reversal shot. And all of a sudden, the nurse says, your color's coming back. That's how I was pink. That's how white I was. Like pale, ghostly white. And so and it actually helped with my migraine, and just I felt a little bit better. And because all of a sudden, when I took those 2 shots, here I'm talking, I'm my Jersey self again, and I'm joking around and whatever. And he said, well, before we go in for the other tests and stuff, we'll give you some snacks. And believe me, that was the best turkey sandwich. And that was like the best uh, Shasta Cola I ever drank in my life. And they gave me chili cheese fries, Doritos, and all that stuff, right? And I mean, because I didn't have anything to eat for a long, long time, right? And so I was telling this guy about my YouTube channel and whatever, and I actually showed him a short, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna subscribe." And this one girl, this one nurse says, "Your voice sounds so familiar." And I'm like, "Really?" I said, "Well, were you here in 2020? Because that's when I had the other test done." She said, "No, I just started working here." She said, "I'm trying to figure out where I know you from." And I said, "Well, my doctor and stuff, like, uh, was so impressed with my stream and my channel, because I'm trying to help people and whatever. That's my mission." Uh, I said, "Well, maybe you heard about my YouTube channel, maybe?" I don't know. And this guy, he said, "Yeah, she's a YouTuber." Oh, I was a big deal. Like Mr. Beast, I said, "I'm not that big. I'm just like that big, all right?" You know. So I got like a couple of subscribers and stuff like that from it. But I mean, but it made me feel good saying, "Yeah, you're doing good service, and you're doing good for others, and all that stuff." And I was my old Jersey self again, you know. And so and that Zofran, they gave me Zofran for the nausea. That didn't help. But when they gave me those 2 reversal shots, I was like, yeah, I feel a little bit better than I was. So I'm wondering what's in that medication. You know, uh, so so I did the other part of the test, and they sent me up, and that was it. And so I was hungry more. I asked for food around 1:30 and 7. The doctors came in, and he said, "Well, your heart's fine. Your lungs are fine." Even though I smoke like a chimney, I told the doctor this. I said, "Listen, I smoke like a chimney." I said, "I know it doesn't do anything for me except for killing me, but it's lesser than the 2 evils I used to use." You know what I mean? And so, and they appreciate my blunt honesty, okay? And so they said, "No, your lungs are fine. You have a cyst on your kidney. Your heart's fine, and all that." Um, and but they gave me another prescription for Atrovacin, which is like a high cholesterol medication. And they said, "Well, we can send you home tomorrow." Hi, Hippocrates. Hypocrites. Remind Reminds me my food blender needs fixed. It sounds terrible. What does? Yeah, I got that. Hippocrates. Where are you from? Are you from Greece? Are you from Wisconsin? Ireland? Oh, geez. Italy. Well, wait. All right. Did you ever kiss the Blarney Stone? I had a baseball coach that actually kissed the Blarney Stone, and he says when you kiss it, you have to really bend over and kiss it. Not anybody's ass. I'm talking about the Blarney Stone. Are you a fighter, or I'm going to ask you this: are you a fighter or a lover? She could say that. She looked more like a bit of concrete than stone, to be fair. You're a scrapper and a lover. And Midnight Toker. That I got that from a song. The reason is because the Fighting Irish Notre Dame in this country, it's a big university here. The Fighting Irish. Let me introduce myself to you. I'm Rock Queen 71, and I'm coming at you live from my headquarters in Rocklahoma, USA. And I've been in recovery from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. And no, I don't smoke marijuana either. But I'm still human, and I go through like depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I go through a lot of back pain. I just came home from the hospital today. Pot's a lot stronger now than it was way, way, way back when. It's all right if you smoke weed for. Yeah, no. I just can't handle it. Yeah, it's too strong. The last time I did was back in 2004, before I got myself clean and sober from the crack and heroin. And I really didn't like it. And it was hydroponics. My friend actually grew it. And I just, I am open-minded when it comes to that. Like, if you're a cancer patient and you're going through chemo or whatever, yeah, I'm all for it. But people just, if you have a broken nail, they'll give you a medical marijuana card. It's being abused, okay? And now they're doing more studies about it, So, yeah. When I came home from the hospital, my husband, drove down the highway, and all of a sudden I'm like, I smell pot, because there was a pot farm there. Like driving down the highway, you can smell it. Yeah. And I don't do California sober. Like how people are like, well, at least I'm not drinking. At least I'm not doing crack, or I'm not a junkie anymore. I'm California sober. No, that doesn't cut it. I'm sorry. But But people have their own journey, right? So, to me, a drug is a drug is a drug is a drug. And I take my recovery very seriously. I'm very vigilant about it. There's a lot of AA meetings in Ireland. I know that. I think there's more AA meetings than there are pubs in Ireland. You never where you're gonna find a pot farm around here. It's usually in someone's attic. Yeah, my friend, he was living in a second-story apartment. Okay, he had one room dedicated to hydroponics pot. Okay, for some stupid reason, he put one pot plant outside, outside the balcony and stuff, and a freaking cop saw it. I guess he just looked up and he said, "Oh," so he charged him. This was like way back in like the early 2000s or whatever. Really? How freaking cool is that? Well, okay, so I was a drummer for a heavy metal band back in the 80s called Vicious Bite. And I was a handful of female drummers back in the day. And I partied with a lot of people like Lemmy, like from Motorhead, from Ozzy, and R.I.P. Ozzy, and Rocket Queen is a song from GNR, and one of my best friends was Steven Adler. But Ace Frehley from Kiss, I knew him when he was drunk because we used to party together, and then when he was sober, he actually died in the same hospital my two kids were born in Morristown, New Jersey. And of course, life goes on, whatever and stuff. But he was so funny, and I mean, and everybody was saying, "Oh, he must have been drunk when he, fell or whatever." No, I truly believe he was sober. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah, I have. I should have been dead years ago. I'm still grieving over Ace. Ozzy, but more of Ace and stuff. You know what I mean? Because he used to go to meetings in New Jersey too. And all that. But I went to his house in Sparta. Actually, he lived in the same town as my grandparents. Off the same road and everything. And stuff. I showed my grandparents' house and stuff. Cheers. Coffee. Yeah. You were in New Jersey? Whereabouts? My hometown is Denville, New Jersey, in Morris County. Okay. Hurry back. All right. I love you, Lolly and Frogzilla. Cyberhogs! Feel the energy. Thank you for dropping by. Thanks for doing research. Love you. Love you, sister. Oh, Roe King, you're still here? I hope one of these days that we can get together. You know? And even Roe King loves me. Can you believe it? After he poisoned me in a bar at a casino, he still loves me. And I'm still going to therapy for it. Right. I'm going to hit the road. Nice meeting you, girl. Well, nice meeting you too, and drop on by. Again. I want to hear stories of you in New Jersey. Have a good one. Cyber hugs. An Irish, German, Jersey hug for you. Cyber hug. Yeah, so now I'm hitting Ireland and what? Australia, and I'm becoming Mrs. Worldwide. Maybe that's what I took on myself, right? Big head coming, right? Somebody pop it. I feel a lot better than I did. I think Jim is less stressed out because now I'm gonna get my medication and everything else, and I'm hoping not tonight but tomorrow I can be working on my stream and all that. Oh, Rody, I told Motobomb about Java Jet cheating on him. I have proof. My hair's a mess. But I feel so much better. I feel better that I'm home. Oh, you were there? Oh, yeah, well, I told him. There's going to be something coming out of that. Believe me. Blackmail. I feel so much better. That's a lot, not. Well, maybe tomorrow I can go on Discord and maybe we can play poker or a word game or no, trivia game. How about that? And hey, look at you. You're number one. How about that? Congrats. High five there, buddy. Bam. When you're in the hospital, they don't let you sleep. You can't sleep, you know. And when I came home here, I told Jim, I said, "Well, I'm gonna have a couple cigarettes and go to bed," because he had to get my medication, right, from the pharmacy. And he mistakenly called me up. And I said, "Well, you know, I'm making a pot of coffee." He said, "I already knew you were going to stay up." No. I don't have Discord on my phone. So I guess I had to do that, huh? Did you find me on Pool Blitz? There is a section where you can search for players from other gaming consoles, and it's Rocket Queen 71 or Rocket Queen 1. We're not doing it tonight, though. I do want to at least try to go to bed at a decent hour. I'm just grateful for you, Rhodey. You know, we have a lot of fun together. We poke fun at each other and whatever. Yeah! I used to party with those guys. I actually opened up for them. And Steven, excuse me, Steven Adler was like a brother to me until something happened. And I think Axl Rose is a douche still. That song means a lot to me. If you look on YouTube and it's 1988 live at the Ritz, and you see Steven, you know, doing the drum beat, the opening drum beat, and he goes like that, he's actually pointing at me. We were supposed to actually, we opened up for them at the Ritz, okay? And we signed contracts and everything else, and so we were supposed to be part of the show on MTV. Nowhere to be found. Slash has really matured a lot, though. Back in the day, he was such an asshole and all that. Yeah, so. Yeah, that song means a lot to me in a lot of different ways. Yeah, you told me. You told me. You know what he used to call me? New Jersey Groove. How's it going, New Jersey Groove? You know. Yeah. He was on Jimmy Fallon too. About a month before he we talked about that. And how disgusting, like they had a memorial for when, you know, the John F. Kennedy honors, you know, when they were getting out the awards, and they did this memorial for AIDS. I'm like, oh my God. I think the last time I saw him was, I'm trying to think, 2013. I mean, we kept in contact, but you know how life just goes and all that. you know. But when they did the John F. Kennedy Center honors and stuff, and how fake Paul was with Peter, like reaching over Gene Simmons, when Marcus Kane did Beth, and I told you about Marcus Kane too. I met his cousin or something like that, working at a Route 66 souvenir shop. Yeah, he still has it. He really does. I mean, he's so funny as hell, though. He's a little devil. Let me tell you. I hate it when he was on Celebrity Rehab, and they had like Celebrity Sober House or whatever, and stuff. They knew he was a train wreck. Okay. They knew. They do that, His mother was cool as shit too. She used to go to every concert backstage. But they still try to pull Steve back, into the fray of GNR and all that stuff. And he did it, okay, for a while. But I think a lot of tensions were like this, especially with Axel, douchebag. It wasn't Miles Kennedy, right? Slash and Miles Kennedy made the Snake Pit back in the 90s. I hate Axel. And I know if I ever write a book and stuff, I'm going to throw a lot of people under the tour bus, especially Axel. I'll probably end up getting sued. I'm being serious and stuff about that. I hate them. And they're going out on tour again. Surprise, surprise. It's all about the money. It's all about him. Cheers. Say hi to Road King.
Hi, Road King!
Wow.
Are you serious? That's only half as loud as it is while you're speaking? Man.
Did you hear him? He didn't hear you, honey. Say hi. Say hi.
Yeah.
There is a guy that looks just like Axel, and but he's been on like I think it was on like Spanish television or something like that, where it was like I want to be a rock star or whatever, and this guy looks like Axel, sings like Axel, whatever. I forget his name though. So, what was the last concert you ever went with your son? Yay! Hit me happy! Back! Oh, Froggy! Oh, Froggy! Ribbit! Ribbit! Cyber hug! How you doing, Froggy? Oh, that one? Thank you for your prayers, too, Froggy. And tell that to Lolly, too. I was really in bad shape. I mean, I don't want to ever go through that again. You know what I mean? Just okay. You better be hippy hoppy all over the place. Say hi to Frogzilla, honey. He has pizza in his mouth. Froggy, you don't have Xbox, right? Or you don't have PlayStation 5 either, right? You're not a gamer, you just watch YouTube. I actually want to get a community night for gaming. All you need is your cell phone, and it's called like excuse me, Jackbox Party. It's a lot of fun, you know. Actually, Lolly played that with us like a couple months ago. She played Jackbox Party 11. Oh, you love poker! And I thought you had to go. Well, I told you I was like a semi-poker pro, so... They have, well, alright. I'm trying to think, you know. Oh, you just got back? Well, welcome back, Hug! Cyber Hug! Oh. Ah! Squeeze all the love out of you. Ah. But I left a little bit for Froggy, okay? Yeah. I hear you. When I got back here, I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna have a couple of cigarettes, watch some YouTube, and then go to bed. Well, he was, you know, getting my medication for the pharmacy and stuff, and, do you know what happened? The hospital gave me, like, a discount code for my medication, and so I forwarded it to Jim, and he got back. He's, well, I'm going to tell you something. That discount code did not do crap. We would be paying more for it. Be paying more for the medication than paying less. So I don't know how that would happen, but. Have you played poker in a real casino? Like the buy-in is like $400. I was like the top 5th player on a poker site called Grinders. Why not? You know why? Because you would be a guppy. They call you know, noobs guppies. I played with a lot of people too, you know. I used to play that. Have you played baseball poker? Why not? I suck at poker. I'm retired now and all that. And plus, they don't, like, in Oklahoma, well, they have poker in what's it called? The Star Casino and across the state and stuff, but legally, they don't have any poker sites on here that are legal. You know, you have to get a VPN to. I know all the tricks. Yeah, I wasn't in the red, and I wasn't contracted to be shot at by a gangster or anything. But I do have friends in in Las Vegas and Montana and Jersey, and then I still love the game. I'll still play every once in a while, like at Four Kings Casino, like it's a video game, and stuff like that. I'll play that just for the hell of it. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I'll still watch videos now and then, but I used to play the Free Texas Hold'em and stuff like that. I haven't played it in a long time. What, on Facebook? Zen Poker? You can still actually play for free, on the World Poker Tour site. Oh yeah, Texas Hold'em with Chris Ferguson, Jen Harmon. Jen Harmon's a friend of mine and stuff, but she's gotten a little weird. She actually went on a reality show. I don't know why, but yeah, they shouldn't have. I'm gonna tell you this. They shouldn't have any simulation gambling games for kids, video games. You understand? I mean, I used to play, when I was a kid. We used to play penny poker and like blackjack or whatever and stuff. But 2004, that's when the big Texas Hold'em boom happened, and everybody wanted to go to Vegas. I wanted to go to Vegas. I wanted to actually go to Reno, and so the World Series of Poker was like in that year in 2004 was like the biggest entries because all these poker sites were buying in for these people and stuff. And so, but there was a lot of seedy dealings going on. Pun intended, by the way. But I used to go to the Showboat and AC, Borgata, Mohegan Sun, PAX in Pennsylvania. I went to a casino in Delaware. I forget what. Delaware Downs, that's what it's called. I also played in the little Orange Park, Florida, when Ed and I used to go to Daytona twice a year. And I actually played with Michael Waltrip and Tony Stewart, too. Hold on, excuse me. So, I made my rounds, But I did pretty good. But there was a time where I think I was just like, I'm glad you're home and your heart is all right. Love you, girl. Hope you have some relief for a bit. Big cyber hugs. Well, big cyber hugs to you too. You got a Rocket Queen hug. Feel the energy. Night, night. Don't let the froggies bite. Uh, don't let the froggies bite. Life is so good, guys. You know, we all have our trials and tribulations, and you know, and I'm just grateful I have a good husband because he tries his best, and yeah, he does get frustrated with when I go through what I go through. He hates me. He hates when I'm in pain and all that. You know, he just wants me to stream and be happy and help people and all that stuff. That's always been my mission, to help people. That's it. I even showed one of the doctors my stream, like a short and stuff. She's like, I'm gonna look that up. She's not gonna look that up. And she does, you know. I'll be grateful if she does. But thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel the love, you know, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You. And even you, Rhodey. I want to get back in the swing of things with my stream and stuff, but I can't. You know what? I should do like a little video for you, like the hippie hop dance. Yeah, even you. I don't know why, but I want to get myself in heaven when I die. So yeah, even you. Froggy, he almost killed me. He poisoned me at a casino, at a bar. And I passed out somewhere, and here I am, thrown up to a porcelain god, praying to the porcelain god. And here, Rhodey was just laughing at me. What kind of friend is that, huh? But I still give him a chance. He even gave me a ring on Discord, like, you know, because you can talk voice chat. And he hangs up on me after 2 minutes. What kind of friend is that? Who wants friends like that? Especially after poisoning me. Jeez. Not good. You can't trust anybody from Minnesota. Wink, wink. Let's not go. We're not going into politics. I'm just saying. But like I said, I'm very outspoken about politics. You know that. And about a lot of different things. But I'm changing my format to where we're going to talk about uplifting things. You know, maybe like just, you know, about recovery, mental illness. You know, just, you know, be positive. Because this is our space. You know what I mean? It was a test, LOL. You were alive. Yeah. Right, I was alive. But you didn't have to try to kill me. Are you one of those narcissistic people where they live stream robberies and mugging people and doing drugs online on your live stream, like these TikTokers do. All for clicks, right? All for clicks. Oh, talking. You didn't last 2 minutes. You probably can't last 2 minutes, but other things do. Zip. Yeah, but when you, Tay, and me, when we were talking, yeah, I cut the stream. And after that, when you got off, well, that doesn't sound right, does it? Tay and I, we stayed up till like 6:30 in the morning and stuff and talked about whatever we were talking about. You know that? So we were connecting. I do want to do a show called Smoking Gals, though. And I have an idea for like the intro image. It would be like airbrushed. What's Osage? What's wrong with Osage? Hold on, I'll be right back. I don't know what's going on with Osage. Oh, what's the matter? How much you? Oh boy, sorry about that. Kickapoo was actually, I thought it was Osage, but Kickapoo was, you know, screaming, all that stuff. Oh no, that's wait. Wait. We have two great cats. One's Kickapoo and one's Cheyenne. And like I even get them confused. But I think that was Cheyenne. But I feel so much better getting all that stuff out. And just to let you know, guys, the stream is not just about me. It really isn't. It's about you guys, you know, because we're trying to create a wildfire change to create a wildfire change where we can diminish the darkness in the world. And I know we're not going to get all the darkness in the world, but we're going to finally get rid of it. That's the whole mission, guys. Strength in numbers, guys. If you know people, have them enlist in the Queen's Light Brigade so we can make a difference. It's not all about me, it's about us. It's about we. There's no I in we. Froggy, I haven't seen Flower Girl, your roommate. Or your housemate. She went to help her son with the kids or something like that. You know who I'm talking about, right? I haven't seen her around. I hope she's doing all right. Froggy, I think we would have a lot of fun if we played Jackbox and stuff. You know, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it's gonna be trivia." It's a lot more than just trivia. It's just fun games. You know. She went dark. She hasn't been in contact with us. Oh, wow. She didn't owe you any rent, did she? Oh, my God. She told me I was doing a live stream, and she told me she was going to be with her son or something. That's a fun game, and I have Jackbox 11. I have a lot of Jackboxes. I have also Riff Tracks, What the Dub. That's a fun one. Oh, the ghost. Oh, man. Maybe that's why, right? Have you talked to the ghost lately? Rhodey, you, me, Tay, and everybody else and stuff, if they want to participate. Today's Friday. Maybe tomorrow night we can do it. If everybody's willing to do it. Well, even Jim will play. If I give him enough time. You know what I mean? Like around like 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So it would be 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Or no, 7. No, it'd be, wait a minute. Yeah, it would be 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We got rid of 2 Indian dolls and a clown picture. Wait, hold on. You're not in trouble. I don't know why. Crap. We got rid of, hold on, 2 Indian dolls, a clown picture, and activity has slowed down here a lot, but we still have orbs, the different things going on. You're not in trouble. I don't know. It's so stupid. I had friends, like, one guy, his name was Ashley. He was a part of the, like, elite, English. He loved playing football and all that, alright? And he used to go to all these places that were haunted. And we have a lot of haunted areas in this area. They have the asylum, the old hotel, and they open up for Halloween and whatever, but they have like legends, you know what I mean? Let me ask you this, Froggy. Do you believe you had a past life? You know how what's her name? I forget. You do believe that? What do you think you were? Not Shelley Duvall, Beatty. What's her name? Ned Beatty's sister. What? I forget her name. Not sure. I don't know what I don't know what my past life would have been. I feel like if I had a past life, I would be owning a bar, and I would be a madam at a whorehouse. You know, in the old west. I'm built like a madam, right? Know what would be cool, even if it was a hologram, a haunted mansion with rock stars. They actually, you know what? When Lemmy passed away, they made a hologram out of him, right? And they put it in the Rainbow Room where he used to party a lot. And you can actually talk to him while he's playing the slot machines. But they did that with Dio. Oh my God. Rhodey, go on YouTube, well, you're already on there, and look up Brian James Dio hologram. It doesn't even look like him. Why would you want to spend money on that? And plus, his wife, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with his wife because he would be so against that. I have always seen and felt ghosts for as long as I can remember. Well, you haven't been active talking, Moto. Oh, you were on his. Oh. Are you feeling okay, Moto? You really haven't been talking. I love you, brother. I hope you're not mad at me or upset with me for any reason. I'm gonna give you a good night. Good night. Good vibe. Ugh. What? No. What? Uh-oh, no. Hey, hold on. There you go. Oh, you were playing guitar? I do believe I was out. Oh, I do believe I was not a good person in my past life due to the dreams I had when I was young. Lots of things, that's all. What that you're mad at me for? I'm still working on projects with Java and everything else and stuff. I just want to, and I have proof that Rhodey and Java's been together. I know. You were getting very chummy with Java, Rhodey. Come on. Don't deny it. I think she was happy that I was in the hospital for a little bit. It gave her a break, too. Java's a little devil. She is. She's also a ditz and a brat. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her. Did you? Oh wait, Rhodey, did you see my new series I have out now called Chat, Coffee, and Confessions at a New Jersey Diner? You will like that series. It's not AI slob. It's actually storytelling. I have another guy coming in the diner too, and all that. But that's gonna be a whole series, you know. Say if you rode your new lowrider to Jersey and stuff, you would be in there too. I should use I have pro. You mean for you? I know I told you I was going to do that. See, when I do this on my camera, I mean on my phone, I don't do any promos, which sucks. I mean, I can actually do it through a remote control, you know, on my phone to Streamlabs, but I've been having problems with Streamlabs. You said you should use a promo. Never mind. Lost in translation. Oh, the dude. Oh, Ralph Pastanato. I get it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. High five there, Rudy. Yeah. It would be like a segment, like every couple of weeks or maybe, you know, whatever. There's also Dom the Schlong. He was in the diner and stuff, but he was promoting Mental Health Awareness Month. So it's not AI slop, it's just storytelling, you know. And you can, and people have really connected with Ralph on how, you know, technology and this whole world's getting faster and just more complicated and whatever. And people connected with that, you see. That was the whole idea. You know, it wasn't going to be like two robots, you know, shooting, you know, baby kittens or something like that. You know, I don't use AI like that. Well, yeah, I have, you know, but I rather use it for storytelling. You know, I was actually making a series about based loosely on my life, and but it was getting a little bit too graphic. Like there was some deep stuff with this one episode I made, and I said, "No, we're not going to go down that road." You know. But these sites that I go on are asking for more money, or and some sites are just a waste of time because when you do the right prompts and whatever, they still don't get it right, and they use all your credits. And if you complain, they don't give you the credits back. So. But they're making change. This is what gets me with YouTube. They don't want AI slop. Okay? I don't consider my series, with Ralph, AI slop. Okay? It's all these other crazy things. Okay? But yet, they want you to do shorts with an avatar, an AI avatar of yourself in shorts. They're contradicting themselves. I used to go on a site called Kyber, and I used to do all these scenes, like movie scenes, and I would put music to it and whatever. And they made it into a super studio, and it got so complicated and stuff I couldn't, Yeah. But now, oh wait, there's a YouTube channel that's fake news that's run by AI. It's called Meg News or Meg. I have to ask Jim. He showed me it. Actually, he showed me it before I went to the hospital, and he said, "Look at this." And this news reporter was talking about California and all this other bogus stuff, and he said, "Yeah, that's AI." It's getting to the point, and all these companies like Adobe, OpenAI, X, whatever, they're trying to develop a system where if you click on it and you want to know if it's AI or not, it's like a stamp, like a watermark, like what they do with Sora. But it would be like in back of the video, like ingrained in the video somehow. But these commercials on YouTube, most of them are AI and they're bogus claims and all that crap. But they don't care about that, do they? YouTube. They talk about like, oh, you can get cheaper Viagra, Fun Friday or whatever it's called, or what? And they say, oh, well, it's the commercials have to go. YouTube's becoming a shit site. It really is. But, yeah. Even Jim, a few weeks ago, actually Even Jim started using AI on his phone. I have proof of it. I was gonna make a little video about it. And so because he's, I'm never gonna use AI, no way. Come here. He started using it. But he only does it to, make fun of his friends or me or the cats or we have, trail cams, and he can actually, dress the deer up in Christmas sweaters and stuff like that. you know. But I don't even think we've been using trail cams lately.
That's because we're on the free plan and there's no photos left at the first of the month.
Oh.
I'll use them again. Because when a deer stands in front of it for 20 minutes,
that's
all the free photos.
Yeah, but you can make videos too, right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, you're limited on that. Very limited.
Yeah, but how much? You said $10 a month.
If you want to pay by month, if you want to pay by the year, it's $10 a month. If you pay by the month, it's $15 a month.
I think it's worth it if you're getting, some ideas for it.
And when we're more financially
stable. Yeah. You did a song? Where? Froggy, what was the name of the song? Hippity Hop? Don't stop. My son gives me a hard time for using AI. I love using AI. Okay. I have my sidekick Sparks. And I also have Coach, which helps me, do certain things with my stream and everything else, right? I know they're not human and all that, but oh, you can't get into your channel. I'll help you with that. Oh, did you use Udio? Because they settled with the big record companies, and they did give like maybe 3 days for everybody to download their songs or whatever. I have stuff on Udio and stuff. I can't get that stuff off there either. Oh, Taylor. Well, why don't you bring Little Man to the camera? And I'll have a talk with him. I wish Mike, do that. And I'll tell me when he's on. Tell him to swear or anything. Is my hair okay? Here, you like this? It's a nice pillow, right? That's when we were at the airport when I came here for 18 days before we were married. And this was our picture at the airport when I was going back to Jersey. I love this pillow. Hi, honey. Oh, hold on. Hi, honey. I hope you get some sleep because your mommy is getting very tired. And I have something special for you. Okay? It might be coming a little late, but let me give you a cyber hug. I love you, little man. Just be good for mommy. She loves you very, very much. Okay? And she would be very happy if you went to sleep for a little bit. Okay? Okay? Whoop. Be a good boy, okay? And maybe mommy will do something for you. Maybe Auntie Rocket will do something for you. I already had that planned out. I love you. You are loved by your mama, and you're loved by me. Big smile. So please, okay, be a good boy for mommy and get your stuffed animal, and she'll tuck you in and you go off to dreamland. I love you. I love you. In fact, well, you know what? I was going to show you one of my kittens, but they're not around. So, nighty night, honey. Ah, oh, all right, hold on. You guys are going to think this. All right. Cyber kisses. There you go. Thank you. I felt the love. Now there's going to be a thing called cyber kisses. I wish my kids were that young again. Everybody on the stream is going to be like, what the heck? He wants more? Oh, my. All right. All right, hold on. Ready? All right, pucker up. Cyber kisses. There you go. And I'll even give you another Jersey hug. How about that? Another Jersey cyber hug. I love you. I love you. Oh, something happened here. There you go. Oh, you just want a hug? Little man, should I give Rhodey a hug? All right, yeah, I'll give you a hug. I love you, Rhodey. You're a good friend. Sometimes. Well, that just made my night, little man, by giving you cyber kisses. And hopefully my cyber kisses will make you go night-night. When he's not poisoned. Yeah, exactly. Right. And laughing at me. But hey, we have pictures, right, Tay? Of him with Java. Blackmail. Yep. hope he has some sweet dreams and goes night night. My son, Sean, and I used to play a game. He was like, I think, 12 months old or something like that. And he would jump in his crib, and I would turn off the lights and stuff like that. And he would get up and jump on the crib, and I'd turn on the light, and he would drop down. Then I would turn off the light again, and he would jump in his crib and drop down again. Well, I have more. He hasn't seen all of them. We even have video. Yeah. You don't know who you're dealing with, honey. Remember, I'm from Jersey, okay? I used to run with some members of the family. That's no joke either. John Gotti's son, John Gotti Jr., they used to have a house in Alamucci, New Jersey. That's right. Jersey girl through and through. You can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. And he knows that. Jim knows that too. Believe me, we're capable of doing everything. We're not just flipping tables and pulling hair. We're doing a lot of things. A lot of manipulation. Yep. Hell, we used to, the guys and I and the band and a few other friends, we used to go to Queens, New York, and every 4th of July, John Guy would shoot up fireworks, and the cops just stood there. They did nothing because they were paid off and stuff. He was the man. There's actually well, Sammy the Bull Gravano has a channel. Michael Francis has a channel and stuff. But Sammy the Bull is such a bullshit artist. He's just, he's nuts. But yeah, Actually, the show, with the Sopranos, they did a couple of scenes in a graveyard in Booton, and that's where my grandfather's buried. Michael was from Jersey, too. Who do you know? They set up the point. Oh, really? So I guess I had to have a talk with him, huh? Click. Hey, Rick. Rick Sticks, how's it going? Let me give you a big cyber hug from Jersey and Oklahoma. How's it going? See ya. How's it going in Canada, eh? Whereabouts in Canada? I used to love the city of Toronto, Ontario. had a lot of fond memories from that place. Except what I hated was like uh if there was French Canadians and stuff, they hate it when you spoke English. Vancouver. Well, how about that? I've heard a lot of stories about Vancouver. Not so pretty ones either. But, you know. Well, I love my Canadian friends. Have you ever been to the States? I'm sure you have. Yeah, you went to Denver. I wonder why. I wonder why. I never been to Denver, so yeah. You know the deal that I know the deal. That's why. What, did you go there for a 420 day or something? They had that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm from Jersey, and there's no secrets around me because I know it all. My son actually lived in Colorado for a while and stuff, and his landlord kept raising the rent and stuff because it was his first place. And then he went from Denver to Portland. Go figure. You know. How much snow have you gotten so far in Vancouver? They had the Winter Olympics there in, what, 1988? Or maybe it was, yeah, 1988, right? I would love to go on the luge. It's like the Alpine slide. Or the bobsled. I love roller coasters. I heard a story. I heard a story when this show Breaking Bad was playing and stuff. That Vancouver, there was a gang that was making ice, meth, just like Walter White, and colored it blue. Because it's about territories, right? So, yeah. I gotta call it a night. Love you, baby girl. I love you too, hippity hop. Don't stop, Froggy. Feel my energy. I love you. Thanks for the prayers. I hope I didn't break your legs. We'll talk soon, okay? I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. And Lolly. I'll tell you one thing, guys. This stream is one of the best I've had. You know, and I feel so proud that I'm trying to build a community where we are trying to create a wildfire change with the Queen's Light Brigade, and we're gonna make this bigger and better. And it's not about me, guys, it's about us. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, and everything comes in its own time, but we'll get there. Right, Froggy? Hippity hop, don't stop. Maybe for the Queen's Light Brigade, we can all have like a reunion. Like we can all meet up somewhere. And Lolly can take me for a ride on her motorcycle. That would be double trouble right there. Right? I haven't ridden a motorcycle in I would say 2010. Yeah, it's been that long. I want to get a motorcycle with a sidecar, and then Jim will be in the sidecar while I'm driving the motorcycle. How fun would that be? How insane would that be? He would be scared to death. Talk about insanity on wheels. I'm just glad I'm home from the hospital. You know, I really am. But, like, you know, I have to give myself a lot of grace. And I'm too hard on myself a lot of times. You know, I put a lot of pressure on myself. Especially with my stream, and if things don't go right, it's like, oh my God. You know, and I hate my pain. I hate my pain with my back. Because when I go through pain issues with my back, it's like I can't focus. I can't sit in that chair. You know, I have like a massager, you know, for my back. I can't sit there and just try to focus. And doctors can only do so much, you know. And I had to accept the pain, which I don't accept it. You know, it took me a long time for me to accept that I was an addict and alcoholic. For those that are just new here, I'm Rock Queen 71 coming at you live from my headquarters in Oklahoma. And I've been in recovery from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. I'm still human, guys. I'm still human. I go through depression, anxiety, panic attacks, maybe a little OCD sometimes. And on this stream, you're going to see the good, the bad, the ugly cry, and the insanity. And I think this stream had that all. You know, it really did. I'm not afraid to cry on stream. You know, I don't care what people think. You know, crying for me is healing. And a lot of people don't know how to show their emotions in front of other people. You know, And that's not good because they feel like they're being judged. I'm over that. You know what I mean? I really am. Most of these streamers, live streamers and stuff, you only see one side of it, and they'll only tell you what you want to hear because of the money. You know, and they do things to shock people and for the negativity and for whatever reason they get off on it, right? Nah, that's not me. Nope. What you see is what you get. I'm the real deal, baby. That's right. And that's why a lot of people, they don't want to come on the stream because I'll tell it like it is. And yet, some people aren't in recovery or they don't want to be in recovery right now or what. I don't care. You know what I mean? If you're going through depression or you just want to vent or you want to see some positivity or just, hey, you're more than welcome. And you guys know that. And that's why, like when I was in the hospital, I think I got 3 subscribers. One from the guy in nuclear medicine, Travis. That was his name, Travis. And there's another girl, and then the doctor was going to check me out too. Because they see what I'm doing with this. And I think I'm going to come up with a challenge for us. The challenge, we're not going to do it now, but I think the challenge would be shut off our phones for 6 hours. Well, how will we know that we're not on our phones, but it's the honor system, right? I'm seriously thinking about getting a dumb phone, though. We don't have the money right now and stuff, but I really want to get a dumb phone. But like Jen says, but Vic, you use it for streaming. You do it for your videos. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I just don't. I want to disconnect. And a lot of people more and more are disconnecting from X, okay, from Reddit, from Facebook, TikTok, It's making our brains into scrambled eggs. Even with me. And I think Jim's more addicted to his phone than I am. To tell you the truth, but, And it's going to get to the point, guys, where within 6 months, you're not going to know what's real or fake. That's the scary part about it. There's actually a site, there's actually a YouTube channel. I forget the name. I should ask Jim what it is. It's like Meg Share something or whatever. I deleted it. But every once in a while, I'll go on it. They think I'm a terrorist. They want my ID or something, even my social security number. I'm like, for what? And so they thought I was a terrorist because they blocked my account. I was like, for what? And I wasn't going to give my social security number. Why do you need that for? And so I have ways of getting around that. But when I deleted my whole Facebook, what's funny about it is his ex-wife made a Facebook for him. You know. Yeah, there were some kids, like, I'm talking about, like, on Xbox or whatever. Like, do you have Kick? Do you have Kick? Do you have WhatsApp? I'm like, no. What? Why do I need Kick for? Kick is usually for explicit stuff, okay? Or just, it's like Tinder, I guess. I like, no, it's not for me. You know, you pull me into Discord. I blame you. I told you what was going on with Discord. And I'm not making that shit up either. They have Guilded, which is the same thing as Discord. And it's, more free speech. That's what they say, but I don't believe that crap either, but... No, it was you! Just like you tried to poison me in a casino in Los Santos. And you were laughing when I was praying to the porcelain god. Look at Rocky. Yeah, that was you. You should clip that. Oh, man. Taylor's my friend. Taylor is my friend. I can call her my friend. Yes. She's my Robin to my Batman. You're just a joker, Rhodey. You're just a joker. Yeah, maybe tomorrow night, if I give Jim enough time, maybe we can play Jackbox. Don't, I don't know yet. Either that or we can do it Sunday. Do you have Jackbox on PlayStation? Rhodey? They have deals on those games all the time. I get emails from them, which are a pain in the ass sometimes. Cat fight, right? I had to try to use Discord more. But see, that's the thing. I don't like the drama. There was a time when I first started out in 2018. Yeah, I was on it all the time because I was trying network and all this stuff. And they really do anything for me? I was involved with a lot of communities and stuff, but there was two servers that actually kicked me out for doing nothing. For doing nothing. The mods had a power trip. So. Yeah, but aren't you in mine? I was starting to build it, and stuff like my server. I have Rocket Nation and Rocket Queen's headquarters or something like that. I bet you don't even have to go there, honey. I bet I have 2 of them. And the only reason why I have 2 is because one of them was for just AI stuff. Because a lot of these AI sites want you to go to their servers and do all the creating and all that crap. I was trying to build it and stuff, and then I just you know, I was actually gonna when I had the money, that is, I was gonna go to Fiverr so somebody can build my Discord and all that. But then I would have to run. I actually had on Xbox, I had a club because I was the Queen of Battlefield, and don't you forget it. And my club was Battlefield War Stories. And we had a smoking hot club, right? Because I would do like headhunter tournaments where, say, I was like, marked, and so was Jim. So any of our members that went on, say, a Battlefield 1 server or whatever and killed us, they would get like a $5 gift card or something like that. I come up with a lot of things. Even like I had one for Four Kings Casino. And I would do like certain activities, like certain challenges and stuff. But the clubs on Xbox are pretty much dead now. I still have mine up, but cat fights. I bet you that was, and you have to watch out for these bots or these rogue accounts on Discord and all that. Because believe it or not, they can hack your account. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we'll see when things are more financially stable that maybe I'll build the Discord and all that. Rams. Of course. But you didn't have to delete your whole server. You just block them. But then they can make second accounts, third accounts, whatever, right? That's a pain in the ass too. I can only imagine. Hey, we only let people in, at mine. That's how I did it. Well, apparently you didn't know them too well. I'm just saying. Yeah, but how long were you friends for? You could know somebody for 5 years on Xbox, Place, whatever, and stuff. You get onto a Discord, and you, like, say, Donald Trump, and they, like, Joe Biden, whatever, forget it, right? Or oh, they're jealous of you, you know, having all these people on your stream or whatever, right? Or you know them too well. And I bet you, Rody, that they were fighting over you too. Hmm? Hmm? Admit it. Oh, come on. Yeah, I thought you were my friend, and so I thought I kind of knew you in a way. And you pointed me in a casino in Los Santos. I thought you were my friend. I'm still going through therapy because of you. I'm still going through my post-traumatic stress disorder because of you. I don't believe that. Seriously, I don't know. Listen, I'm married, okay? I'm married. You see, all right? I don't cross any line like that, right? But Ro King's a good-looking dude for his age, like 80 years old and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he's 80. Actually, he's 85. Going on 100. Yeah, he is. He's 80. 80 years old. Look him up on Verified. I'll tell you, 80 years old. You know how black people, like, I'm not racist by the way, but you know how black people, some of them don't age. You think they're like 30 and they're like 60, something like that? Yeah, it's like that. No, I'm thinking of you. Mac is what? No, he's 86. Mac. And you're 85. You're younger. I'm 21. 21 with 33 years experience. 21 forever, baby. I don't even remember 21. It's just all blur to me. But foggy too. I love old Mac's stories. You know, I miss my mother-in-law. I miss you, Mom. I miss you very much. I miss your stories. I miss your kisses on my cheek. I loved her stories, even though she told them over and over again. I don't care. You know, when she died, that house died. You know, and Yeah, I miss her a lot. She is like my best advocate. If I needed to go to the hospital or if I was going through a panic attack because of my back pain, you know, she would I would go over her house, and sometimes I didn't want to go over her house because sometimes she would complicate things or make me go more in a panic. I'm like, no, ma, it's okay, whatever, right? Yeah, I miss her. I miss my sister-in-law Ann too, but that's life, right? But I don't know if you believe this or not. You know, they say cardinals are like, you know, people that you loved that passed away. And a few times I saw one cardinal, and then I saw three cardinals, and sometimes they, you know, just you know, two cardinals, right? And I said, oh, that's Ann and Mom flying around to see if everybody's okay, if the property's okay. I believe that. You know, you don't have to believe it, but I believe it. I'm just thankful I'm out of the hospital. I'm so grateful. And I hope Jim doesn't go through what he went through this past week with me. Because he was like he snapped. You know, like, you know. Cardinals are my favorite bird. They always, yeah, there's always two of them hanging around outside my back door. Who do you think they are? Actually, that was my grandma's favorite bird, too. Her favorite one, bird, too, was the kingfisher from New Zealand. My grandmother, my grandmother was born in New Zealand, and she came over to this country when she was 11 years old. Your late grandma and the one and the loved one that I lost. What, your old boyfriend? Believe it or not, you want to hear something freaky? Oh my God! All right, so this is like a few months ago, right? You're gonna talk about paranormal. All right. Yeah, it's like my person for life. Soulmate, not person. Don't be so politically correct. I. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Anyway, but it was a few months ago in the summer, and Jim and I, we were going to go out to eat at a restaurant. And we were going down the highway, and this truck comes out flying, right? And hits the car in front of us. And both of us saw it coming. And we're like, eh. Well, the lady that was driving the truck was so old, and I wanted to help her and stuff. And so I walked her to the gas station so she could sit down and all that stuff. And I bought her like a water. I said, what do you want to drink? You want iced tea or water? She said, water. I said, okay, I'll buy it. No, you don't have to. No, I'll buy it. And I was with her. He's sitting in the car. But he was talking to other people too, but he was sitting in the car like Come on, Dick. You know. So, all right, get this. My late husband, Ed, that passed away February 25th, 2011, he used to do towing of cars, like do wrecks and stuff too, right? So right away I thought of Ed, right? I sit with this woman. She said, "Oh, thank you very much for the water and all that stuff." And she said, "Well, how am I gonna get home?" And I said, "Well, I don't know how you get because we were gonna go out. So, I mean, we would have taken her, or whatever, but the cops would have taken her home, right?" So she said, "Can I have your phone number?" I said, "Sure." And she goes in her pocketbook. She grabs an old pocketbook calendar. Guess what showed up? February 25th, 2011. The day my husband passed away. I was freaking out about it. So I know he was with me that day. And also, we went to Colton's Steakhouse afterwards, right? And a song played, American Pie, by Don McLean, right? And that was his favorite song. And it started playing at Colton's. I started crying my eyes out. He's like, "What's going on here? Why are you crying?" And I told him, "Listen, because the day we got the moving truck, you're not gonna believe. I swear, the day we got the moving truck in Jersey, back in 2017, me, Jim, his friend, and his friend's son, we all went to IHOP, right? Guess what was playing at IHOP? American Pie. And I looked at Jim, and Jim looked at me, right? And this is how Jim is, okay? Jim said to me, "I think you should say your goodbyes to Ed." And I was like, "Oh no, we don't have to do that, no." And when that song played, I said, "All right, we'll go," because that was a sign. Bye bye, Miss American Pie. You say bye bye. Even when I was packing, to come here, American Pie showed up, and the album cover is a thumbs up with the American flag on it. So Ed was happy that I was moving out here. And also, recently, about a couple weeks ago, I looked up something for with Ed, right? I swear to God about this. I was freaking out about this. Ed Prentice lived in Cleveland, Oklahoma, the same town we live in. It blows my mind. Yes, I believe that. And there was stranger things that happened after he died and all that stuff, and I do believe that, yeah. Because I said to him, nobody's gonna fill your work boots and stuff. And sure enough, I found somebody, right? when I wasn't looking. You know? I still talk about Ed. Like there was one time where like Jim wanted to show me where he used to work, or he worked at that time, and right by his work was an abandoned racetrack, and Ed loved taking us to the abandoned racetracks. So I said something about Ed with abandoned racetracks, and I said, "Oh, you're gonna be like Ed and take me to abandoned racetracks." He got so upset, right? I told his mother, and his mother said, "Well, he should be mad at that. He was a part of your life. He's dead. He's, you know." And I said, "Yeah, Ma, I know, but you know, I mean, I don't talk about him all the time. I just bits and pieces. He talks about his ex every once in a while, you know. It doesn't come up that often. One time, oh, you know what? I was in Jersey. He was here, and we got into an argument over the phone, and he actually called me Julie. And I was like, what? I'm like, what? And then his excuse was, well, what do you expect? I'm recently divorced and stuff. And he said, it's funny. You know? Yeah. But I truly believe God brought us together, Jim and I. Because who would have thought a Jersey girl like me living out in Oklahoma? And I was, you know what? I was talking to a couple of student nurses, and you know, the nurse was, you know, shooting me up with something or whatever, right? And I said, why are you back there? You know, you can't see what she's doing. She said, yes, we can. I said, come over here. So they moved, and I was talking to them. One girl was from Texas, and there's a lot of hate between Texans and Oklahomans. I don't know why. And the one girl was from Oklahoma. And I was talking about, you know, nursing school, whatever, and she was saying to me, well, why did you move here? I said, you don't realize. I said, Tulsa has a rich music history. I said, if I was still in my band, I would want to play in King's Ballroom. Okay? Tallgrass Wild Bison Preserve. There's a lot of nice towns here, you know, and they're being run down by corporations like Walmart and, you know, big box stores and stuff, you know. But I'm glad I left Jersey when I did, you know. I hope one day, you know, when my back gets better or whatever, that we can explore more, you know, of the state in Oklahoma. They have this Telequad highway where it's really beautiful, and at the top of it is a restaurant, and it actually serves New England leg of lamb, but it costs like $63 or something for a whole thing. I don't care. It's New Zealand leg of lamb. That's where my grandmother was born, in New Zealand. So, but we haven't been there yet. Hi, honey. Here, come here. Come here. Wait, hold on. No, don't. Oh. I was gonna show Kickapoo. What are you doing? Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. I got your tail. So anyway. Well, man is officially passed out. Yay! You should clip that. So every time he gives you a hard time, you want Auntie Rocket to kiss you? Oh God. Good. A lot of people are gonna watch the stream and watch me kiss the screen and say, what the hell is this? I had one guy, this is no joke. I was doing a live stream and I did my cyber hugs, right? And I clipped it, right? And I put it on for a short whatever. And he said, how weird is that? Oh my God. You know, he was a troll, whatever. I don't care what he says. You know. You get all kinds here. That's why when you do a live stream, you know, you really have to have thick skin and just keep going at it. Sometimes you have to have fun with them. There was a few times where, you know, I knew one troll was in the chat and stuff, and I switched, I reversed psychology with him. I said, because do you like Donald Trump or whatever? And I'm like, well, how do you like him? I reversed it on him, and then we were talking for like at least 20 minutes, you know. Don't feed the trolls. Don't feed the trolls. Yeah. I don't have time for that. I really don't. You know? Hey, guess what I fell off? My nicotine patch. I forgot all about it. $21 milligrams of nicotine in this. Have you heard stories where people actually had heart attacks while smoking with a nicotine patch? I have. It was like in the news like a long time ago. But you have to smoke like 5 packs with this to get a heart attack. You know. But when Jim picked me up from the hospital, he didn't bring cigarettes because he had to do some errands and whatever. And so, as soon as I got in the house, guess what I did? I lit up. You know? Yeah. Did you see this? This is a picture of Jim and I when I came here for 18 days before we got married, and this is at the airport. I was coming back home to Jersey. But I hope you... Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? We have all these picture blankets, like some of my old cats from Jersey, and we have like another one blanket of us. You know, I think they're nice. You know, we look so young there, don't we? Like we look so happy, all right, young. He looks very depressed and sad that I'm leaving. And it's very funny when I came back to Jersey and stuff, all of a sudden I switched to Jersey Tude. Because that night I came home from the airport, whatever, and we were Skyping, and he's like, wow. I said, what? You snap back into the Jersey Tude. Like, I'm like, yeah, I guess so, you know. I'm making my mark here in Oklahoma. I'm telling you. They all know I'm from out of state, or from New York, or from New Jersey. Actually, my doctor in the hospital was from New York, so I gave her a high five. I was born in New York State, but most of my life I lived in Jersey and stuff. So, but there's a lot of people from Jersey that live here. My other doctor was from Lakewood, New Jersey, down by the shore. This other guy that I met at a Renaissance Fair, he was from Jersey. I met him at the armor shop and stuff, and he was talking about Jersey, and he said, I've been out here for 15 years, I'll never go back to Jersey and stuff. Yeah, I'm glad I left when I did. Believe it or not, I'm more at peace here. I feel more at home here than I did in Jersey. You know, I think it was time for me to turn the page. You know, you know. Yeah, so. Beautiful state. Rich music history. You know. I love my music, so. I never went to Kane's Ballroom, but actually, Jim, there was a guy that went to his church that his father owned Kane's Ballroom, and he actually saw like Willie Nelson pictures and guitars or whatever and stuff. Yeah, that's why you're so corny. Wink, wink. I did it when I was in 5th grade. I did a state report on Nebraska, and my state report was two books. I swear, that thick, and we had to write to the Chamber of Congress and all this stuff. And at that time, John Kerry was governor of Nebraska, and so I had 2 books and all that, and my mom had put them together by red yarn because they were so thick, and I got an A plus 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 plus. But I had an actual letter signed, actually signed by Bob Kerry. Yep. Go Cornhuskers. And I didn't know this about Bob Kerrey, though. He lost his leg in Vietnam. I think after when he was governor, he ran for senator or something like that. Yeah. I wish I had those projects from school. I used to love to write. I still do. That's why I'm making that series about, at the New Jersey diner. Now that. Cheers. It was nice to see everybody. I wasn't gonna go on tonight, but someone told me, go on it. Yeah, so I told Jim, I said, yeah, I'll stream for a little bit. Now it's been like, what, 3 hours? Whatever, but. And I mean, it's not AI slop. Like you see on there, it's not like, crazy, AI stuff like a cat blowing up to a balloon and flying off or whatever. It's not, it's actual stories, short stories. I have another one that I have, but I haven't put it up, but he's actually not in the diner, so he can be outside the diner, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I want to do. There was one video I did, and it was loosely based on my life. But the first part was so graphic, like really graphic, like, I said, no, let's cut that because it's, I would get flagged for it, to tell you the truth, I think. But see, I come up with these ideas, and it's like, sometimes it's like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And it's like, okay, Vic, well, when are you going to start and finish it? So, but I'm not going to stress myself out over stuff like Streamlabs or whatever, just, But I think that was the tipping point, what happened. And then with my back pain and then panic attacks and all that crap, I think that was just all part of it. Hey, I'm here. I'm home, right? So, I appreciate you, Tay. I love you like a sister. Ro King, I don't know. I thought he was my friend. I still have post-traumatic stress disorder because of him. Damn you, Road King. Damn you. So anything that goes wrong on my stream, I blame him. He's the culprit. So I hope, listen, we're going to get things settled with you and I. Just give me some time. I know I have to do something for the little man. I still have that in the back of my head and my brain. Okay? It will get done. It will. I promise you that. But, sometimes AI has a mind mind of its own sometimes. But I hope you have a nice, peaceful night. Rhodey, if you're out there, I hope the mercenaries kill you a whole bunch of times. And I hope you get poisoned in the casino bar by Frou Frou or whatever her name is, Juliet. The lot lizards in there. But yeah, I'm gonna get off. And actually I'm gonna wind down. I wanna go to bed and sleep up in my own bed and just relax. And just thank God that, I got through this episode in my life, So I love you. Don't stress too hard with little man and stuff, Cyber hugs, everybody. Cyber good night hugs. I love you. And I hope, one day soon that he gets to sleep. I'm gonna tell you something. Raising a kid nowadays is hard. Okay. Well, listen, parenting didn't come with a handbook. Well, actually, it did. Dr. Spock. Do you know? Did you ever hear of Dr. Spock? I'm not talking about Mr. Spock from Star Trek. His name was Dr. Spock. And he had this book for parenting. And it was a bestseller. And when I was pregnant with Sean, my Aunt Jackie gave me Dr. Spock, Dr. Spock, the parenting handbook. That's making, but let me ask you this real quick. You can't just, I know, yeah, you don't have anybody, but you don't have anybody you can trust, so you can just spend a little time for yourself, like me time. Because that's really important too. I mean, your focus should be on your son, little man, but it's more important too that you have your me time. And that's why I think you stay up late at night so you can have your me time, right? I understand where you're coming from, though. I pray for you, and I pray for, little man and everything. And I just don't say it to say it. I mean it. I pray for everybody that comes on this chat or enlists in the Queen's Light Brigade. I was thinking, well, you smoke outside, right? You don't smoke inside. Because I was thinking maybe the smoke bothers them or something. Or you know what? You can try this. Try this. Make him a warm cup of warm milk. Not hot chocolate. That'll hype him up. Give him a small cup of milk. warm. You do it in the microwave for 45 seconds, but you have to stir it up so it doesn't burn them. You know, understand? But try that. That'll be something to try. You know? Because there's something in that milk that, oh, you try that? Oh my God. He doesn't have like nightmares or anything. And he's potty trained too, right? And maybe too, he's like, you know, like, you know, like the Metallica song "Enter Sandman," where maybe the monster's underneath his bed or something. I'm just saying, you know. When I say everything, I mean everything. Everything. No nightmares. Working on potty training, and it's just fear of missing it. I don't. I haven't. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe he. All right, so he's being potty trained at 3, right? Maybe he's afraid that he's gonna wet himself or something, right? I mean, do you have those pull-ups on him at night? The Huggies pull-ups? Yeah, he's almost 3. Yeah. My daughter. Oh my God, we had such a hard time potty training her. Oh my God, she was just. Sean was easy. Christy wasn't, and maybe give him a reward and say if you go to bed, like, but he'll expect it every time though. I'm just thinking, that's all. And you say he doesn't like candy, which is kind of odd. You know? So, and you can't say, well, I'll get you a new toy because of the money situation, right? So, yeah, you know. I have an idea. I have an idea. Tell him if he goes to sleep that you and him will make brownies together, or cupcakes, or cookies together. And if he doesn't go to sleep, you know what I mean? Or read him a story. It'll be great bonding time. You know? Because I used to love to do that with my grandmother. Good. What kind of cookies? Chocolate chip? Actually, get sugar cookies and get the icing. I know icing, the tubes of icing can be very expensive though. You can get those at the dollar store, I think. But he can decorate the cookies any way he wants, and you should get him a little chef hat, you know, or have like an apron, like I'm the cook or I'm the chef, or whatever, you know. You should actually put, you know what we used to do, my grandmother and I still do, and stuff, is mix the chocolate chips with the peanut butter cookies. They're the bomb. You know? Yeah. Oh, you're gonna make the icing? Well, that's easy. That's just confectionery sugar, eggs, right? Oil, oh, you know. Yeah. You make the peanut butter batter. You pour the Toll House cookie chocolate chips in. You mix that up, and then put them on the cookie sheet. And do the fork thing. Everybody has to do the fork thing, and yeah, they come out really good. Yep. Memories, good memories. I used to make a lot of cookies here, but because of my back and plus our stove is not really working that well, but yeah, confectionery milk, powdered sugar. Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know where I got the eggs from. I miss cooking. And he thinks I don't like his cooking. Uh, you know, I try to cook. I have to try to cook, but it's like when I lift up the pans and move it to like the sink or whatever, forget it. That's when my back bursts with pain. But sometimes we cook together. So sometimes we bond over that. Anyway, I hope you have a nice rest of the night. Yeah, I do. That's why I'm on gabapentin. But gabapentin is also for anxiety and all that. But now, like from what I understand from the doctor at the Hick Hospital, they're actually like the state now is like watching the gabapentin. Like it could be a controlled substance. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why when I didn't have any gabapentin left, like I didn't think it was working, to tell you the truth, okay? And when I went off it, not by choice, by the way, because of insurance purposes, whatever, I was going downhill quite a bit with my back pain, with my anxiety, and all that stuff. Well, there was actually a pill called Topamax, and it was for epilepsy, right? But they use it for mood disorders. You know? And you know what? All right, so I was talking to the doctor, the lady doctor, right? The one I told you she was from New York. She knows I've been in recovery, right, from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. And she said, well, we'll put you on weight loss medication. I said, oh no, not Ozempic, no, no. I said, I don't want to look like Kelly Osbourne. Kelly Osbourne really looks bad, okay? So does her mother, and I used to party with her mother, not party with her, but She called me the C word. That's all right. Wait. But she said, well, Ozempic, those kind of drugs help with addiction and stuff. I'm like, no. A drug is a drug is a drug is a drug. And she said, well, I understand. Yes, I agree with you. But like I said, what on my stream. Oprah, like a few weeks ago, said, well, I've been sober for 7 years because of Ozempic. I used to drink people under the table with drinking 17 shots of tequila. So now they're pushing that because Oprah said, oh, it kept me sober. And now they're saying, oh, it's good for meth addicts, it's good. Yeah, well, excuse me. They're saying the same thing about pot. Oh, yeah, well, hey, at least all the dope addicts aren't using dope anymore. They're smoking pot. A drug is a drug is a drug. Okay? That's how I feel. Okay? And I told her, I said, the medical marijuana card, okay, especially in Oklahoma, you bring a fingernail and they'll give you a medical marijuana card. I call them a green card. And she agreed with me on that. And stuff. My in-laws over at my mother-in-law's house, that was her house, had medical marijuana cards. And they, come on, okay? It's being abused. And now they're trying to make it another class, like lower the class because pot was in the same class as cocaine, heroin, meth or whatever. Now they dropped it down a class because of the studies, and they're trying to push where the pot is going to be federally legal in states because federally and stuff, these dispensaries, these pot shops, they can't go into the bank and put the money in the bank because the bank's federal and the pot's not legal. At least I know folks who be too stoned to be violent. Yeah, that's another thing. People are like, oh, well, alcohol should be banned, not pot and stuff. And like, well, and then they say to me, well, pot, was a giving gift for all of us. It's natural. And you know what I say to them? All right, I pushed back. I said, yeah, so was cocaine and heroin before they processed it. Fact. So, you know, I stand up for that crap. I don't, you know. That's just my opinion. You know, I don't, you know, it's like California sober. Well, at least I'm not on crack and heroin, and so I'm smoking pot right now. All right, I'm just saying that's me. I'm open-minded when it comes to if people have cancer and they feel nauseous and they need to eat. Yeah, I get that, but no, it's being abused a lot. Yeah, I know it. What, you hear pussy? Cat? Yeah, I know. It's Kickapoo wrestling with Osage. And now he's just... They love to wrestle with each other. And I was actually going to make a channel called WWC, and you know, like the World Wrestling Federation of Cats. The World Wrestling Federation of Cats or something. Or World Federation, well, World Wrestling Cats or something. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, they like to wrestle a lot. Oh, here we go. Now they're playing tag. What's wrong with you guys? I see you. Come here. Come here, you want some? They're fun to watch. They're very relaxing when I put, like, you know, like videos for cats, and they'll pop up on the TV stand and they'll, you know, chasing things and whatever, and they're fun to watch, you know. Yeah, that's it. Well, okay. I hope you get some rest. I hope you enjoy the rest of the night. I love you. I love little man. You know, we'll figure out what we can do about his nighty-night situation and all that. But I love you, and thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. You know, if you're new here, please enlist in the Queens Light Brigade today. We, not me, we are trying to create a wildfire change to diminish the darkness in the world. I know we're not going to get all the darkness in the world, but we're going to fight like hell to get rid of it. We're on a mission, guys. We are on a mission. And don't get sucked into the darkness. Don't be entranced by the white noise and stuff. You know, do something simple like maybe read a book, listen to a record, draw, learn how to cook, make cookies with your son. So, big cyber hug. Here we go. I love you guys. Big, good vibe. Good night, cyber hug. I'll catch you guys soon. Love you. Take care. Bye. Thanks again. I love you.